الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين اللهم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي رب زدني علما رب يسر ولا تعسر وتمم بالخير ثم أما بعد الحمد لله. Respected brothers and sisters, welcome to another one of our hadith lessons from Riyadh al-Salihin. In today's class, inshallah, we hope to cover one small chapter and one longer chapter of this book of Riyadh al-Salihin. We'll see how far we can get, inshallah, because there is a very long hadith in the second chapter. As for the first chapter, 259, condemnation of the two-faced people. Babu dhammi dhil wajhain. There are two-faced peoples within our communities and within societies who go and carry the news of one person to another and show to one party that they are friendly, while behind their backs and in their absence they are showing the greatest amounts of animosity and hatred and jealousy. And they are often the people that are also involved in something called calumny, where you're carrying the news of one person to another to cause fasad and fitna within the community. Regarding this, the two-faced people, Al-Imam Nawawi brings an ayah. He says, قال الله تعالى يستخفون من الناس ولا يستخفون من الله وهو معهم إذ يبيتون ما لا يرضى من القول وكان الله بما يعملون محيطا. That these people who are two-faced and carry the news of one place to another, they are hiding from يستخفون من الناس. They are hiding from people. They think they are hiding. They're carrying, they're chatting, and they're gossiping from people. ولا يستخفون من الله. They may hide their crimes from men and from mankind, but they cannot hide them from Allah, because Allah sees everything, سميع بصير. وهو معهم, and He is with them by His knowledge. وهو معهم إذ يبيتون ما لا يرضى من القول, when they plot by night in words that He does not approve of, and Allah ever encompasses what they do. يستخفون من الناس ولا يستخفون من الله وهو معهم. Allah is with us. Wherever we are, with His knowledge, He can see and hear everything that we say and do. As for the hadith, عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم تجدون الناس معادن خيارهم في الجاهلية خيارهم في الإسلام إذا فقهوا وفقهوا وتجدون خيار الناس في هذا الشأن أشدهم كراهية له وتجدون شر الناس ذا الوجهين الذي يأتي هؤلاء بوجه وهؤلاء بوجه. Being two-faced is not allowed in Islam. We should be honest and true. We should be people of integrity. If you look at the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and if you look at all of the primary reasons of his success, he was a great leader and a successful leader, the most successful human being in the history of humanity, not just because we love him as our Rasul, but even by non-Islamic calculation. And one of the key elements that gave him those exquisite and special leadership qualities is his integrity. If you recall in Sirah, one day some of them were spreading rumors about him and his message. Those who believed took reassurance in the fact that he is a man that never lied. He said, if I was to tell you that there is an army behind this mountain that's about to attack you, would you believe me? They said, we have never seen you to lie, so why would you ever disbelieve you? He had integrity, he had honesty. He never had one face here, one face there. He was honest, black and white, plain and clear. What he believed, he said. What he said, he believed. And so, being two-faced is not allowed in Islam. And this hadith is teaching us that. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu arda narrated that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, people are like oars. Oars means like people who are like the source of, ma'adin is like natural beauty, or places where people are like jewels. They're like jewels. People are like jewels. Ma'adin, like jewels. Like beautiful rubies and diamonds and so on. They're like oars. Or they're like things that have a container which holds a lot inside it. That's how people are. They hold a lot inside. Or they're like jewels. those who were excellent in the days of ignorance are excellent in Islam. People who are excellent before Islam, for example, someone who's a non-Muslim, in today's calculation, for example, they are a person of integrity, of honesty, of kindness, of generosity. Now, if they then enter into the fold of Islam and carry these good qualities with them, then they are the best of people before Islam, and they are also the best of people inside Islam. So the people are like oars. Those who are excellent in the days of ignorance are also excellent in Islam, provided that they acquire knowledge and understanding of the religion. And that's why, brothers and sisters, especially those of us who live in the West and those who engage with a lot of non-Muslims, is a big responsibility on our shoulders that we show the best example of Islam. Because subhanAllah, sometimes you think yourself, sometimes you think, wow, such a great person. If only they had Islam, they would have the best of this world and the next. So we have a responsibility of carrying the beauty of Islam to them in the best of most beautiful ways, so that they have an opportunity and they have an invitation to Islam that is beautiful, so that they can accept it, so that they can have success in this life and the next. And we want good for people in this life and the next. There is no coercion, there is no forcing, there is no pressure, but we want people to be happy in this life and the next. And so when we have the gift of Islam, the beautiful way, the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the best way and conduct of life, when someone adds that into their already existing good qualities, then it raises them. If they acquire knowledge and if they have understanding of the religion. You will find the best people in Islam, those who had deep hatred for leadership. Now this is the next part. That the best people in Islam are those who don't want to be leaders. Don't want to be leaders. Now, here we need to take a small pause. Because nowadays, every single direction you look, leadership qualities, leadership training, leadership, everyone wants to be a leader. So how do we take a balance? Are leadership trainings bad things? I was on a leadership training recently. And by default of being imam, you're also given some leadership roles. So is leadership in and of itself a bad thing? How do we approach it? What's the understanding? The general principle is that the leadership that this is talking about leadership of governing people, of having authority over people. Everyone wants to be a councillor, everyone wants to be an MP, everyone wants to be a prime minister, wish and dream, everyone wants to be a politician. If you ask them why, a lot of the time, even though they may say, I want to serve people, I want to serve people, I want to serve people, in reality it's to do with, I want to be powerful, I want to be respected, I want my family to think I'm a very respected person, I want to have that security guard, the bodyguard, I want to have the blues and twos when I go down Westminster, and I want a Range Rover to carry me which is bulletproof. This is the kind of mentality and imagery people have in their mind when they want to become a politician. People are going to be in awe of me. I can get things done. If that's your reason and if that's your drive to become a leader, then wallahi, leadership is not for you. As in Islam and as Muslims, we believe that leadership is one of the biggest responsibilities and is a huge burden on a person's shoulder. And that's why the Sahaba used to run from it. Sahaba, they used to run from leadership. They know they are the best of people in their Islam and their character and in their taqwa and their fear of Allah, and yet they know that kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulun an ra'iyyati, that every single person is questionable for those over whom you are a leader. Now look, being responsible over yourself is hard enough. Is my salah good? Is my amal good? Is my ibadah good? Am I keeping myself safe from all the diseases of the heart? And it's big enough task looking after myself and my family. Imagine now I have to look after 1,000 other families. If you actually realize that this is a huge responsibility, you would not want that. Nobody, no sane person, no person who fears Allah and knows they have to meet Allah to answer for all of those they are responsible for would want that leadership, because it's just extra burden. So therefore, leadership in and of itself is not something to be sought after. Okay? Leadership in and of, just to be, I want to be a leader, to be a leader, that's not a good enough reason. That is not a good enough reason. If you want to be a leader, just to be a leader, run from that. You should check yourself in your heart and in your mind and reflect on yourself. Why? But suppose now you end up in a situation, this is an exception now, that's the origin. Exception. You find yourself in a situation where there are leaders around you, but they are corrupt. They are corrupt. There are leaders around you, but they are corrupt. They are not serving their people. In fact, they are doing a disservice to society. They are harming the community. Because of their corruption, the poor and the weak are not getting their rights and their haqq. And at the same time, you know that Allah has given you the qualities to be able to lead these people. You know inside calculation, you have fear of Allah, you have taqwa of Allah, you have the deen, you have everything. But at the same time, you know that Allah has given you these qualities that if you want, you can make a change. Here, when there is a lack of good leadership and you have the good qualities, then here for you to step up is good. Here in those exceptional circumstances, in fact, those exceptions have now become the norm in today's society because corruption is so rampant and widespread. So originally by default, we don't want leadership. Stay away from it because it's a bigger responsibility. But when there is a need, when the situation becomes bleak and difficult, when you know, if you know for certainty, especially after taking istishara and istikhara. Istikhara means seeking Allah's guidance. Istishara means doing mashwara, speaking to elders and scholars and senior ulama and those who are around you and those who know you, that are you suitable? To be a leader, Allah has to test you. And so this is a lesson to us that if we choose a leader, we need to test that leader. Allah says in the Quran, وَإِذِ ابْتَلَىٰ إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ بِكَلِمَاتٍ فَأَتَمَّهُنْ. Before Allah made Sayyidina Ibrahim a leader, He tested him rigorously. He tested him severely. He tested him in his own safety. Tested him with his homeland. Tested him in his family. Tested him to be thrown into the fire. Ejected from his country. Had to do hijrah. Tested him in his family. Tested him in his children. Every single time Sayyidina Ibrahim is passing. Internally, externally is being tested. Then Allah says, Inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. Now I'm going to make you an imam for the whole of mankind. So, leader just because, you like me, and then we have the corruption that goes to a lower level. They give money, they persuade people, they bribe people, they force people. This is, wallahi, it's wrong. It's wrong. And we can say it's haram because you are doing khiyanat of an amanat. You are deceiving the trust. So by default, we're not supposed to seek leadership. But when there is an absence of leadership, because of which there is fasad and corruption, there is harm being done, and the poor and the weak are not getting their rights, and you know for certain you can do better, you can do something good, then after doing mashwara with your elders and your community leaders and your ulama and those who you trust in your mashayikh, and also istikhara with Allah by saying Allah's guidance, you can step forward. But you need to keep on reflecting upon yourself. You need to always have someone that you report to, that you resort to, that you reflect with. Because if you think, I'm leader, look at me, everyone's saying salam to me, and everyone's honoring me and dignifying me, sooner or later, shaitan will take the better of you and will make you have arrogance. Or will make you detach yourself. Stick you into an ivory tower and think, I'm above and beyond everyone. Who are these people? Look at me, I'm so special. No. You need to have people above you, your elders, your ulama, your murabbis, that put you down and say, who are you, mate? You're just any other human being. Allah's burdened you with the responsibility of leadership, so stay on track. In fact, those who you are leading are better off than you, because you have a stronger and a more severe judgment coming ahead of you, and they don't. They might end up in Jannah before you. Do you see the 7 groups of people that will be going to be in Jannah? The 7 groups, of people that will be under Allah's throne in Yawm al-Qiyamah. 7 groups, special people. First category, Imam Adil, the just ruler. Because of the huge sacrifice and hard work that it takes. That's why the first group that's mentioned is the just ruler will have that high reward, yes. Will be shaded on Allah's throne, yes. And will be rewarded immensely by Allah. But this is if they fulfill their duty correctly. And history has taught us that most leaders, they fail. Don't just fail, they fail epically, if that's a word. They fail drastically because shaitan and waswas and your nafs and those who are around you, those who are greedy, your family, your friends, who don't wish well for you, who can't advise you correctly, they lead you down that path of corruption. So what do I take from this? What do we take from this as a community? We take from this as a community that we need to be careful of taking leadership positions, not just run towards it. Okay? However, if it becomes such that you become mu'ayyan, it becomes ta'ayyun upon you, meaning you have to step up, because otherwise there is harm coming. Right? If we don't go towards leadership, if someone is, mashallah, educated in Islam, educated in academia, educated in law, is brave, is strong, is well spoken, is intelligent, then for these people, we need to say, Akhi, you have our support, go forward. Go forward for leadership, we'll support you. I'm looking for people like that. Wallahi, I'm looking for people like that. I'm looking for people who are leaders in our community, who can do political benefit for our community. And I can say, I'm standing behind you and I will bring to your support the thousands that know me and the thousands that I know. Because we need good leaders that actually genuinely represent us. And not just us as in Muslims, as in humanity and their actual needs. When I say Muslims, what we Muslims want, it's not in contradiction to what humanity wants. It's the same thing. But we want more for dunya and akhirah, right? We have more wants. So, subhanAllah, my advice to all of us is, first and foremost, be careful of leadership. But secondly, for those young brothers and sisters perhaps who are out there, who know that they have the quality and have the integrity and have the guidance from their mashayikh and the scholars around them, and have done istishara, mashwara and istikhara, and have found that this is a good decision to take, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. If you've made your decision, do tawakkul upon Allah and go forth. And I can guarantee this, that if the community, if the Muslim community, especially right now with what's happening to the Ummah, because we all want Ummah, right? If people find a genuine leader, you will see the support. You will see the support, people's dua support, people's financial support, people's political support. You will see it all. Because we are seeking good leadership. We're having to resort to all these funny people who can't even call for a ceasefire when there's a genocide happening. That's the kind of leadership people are looking towards. For help. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. We're weak. We're desperate. And so we're looking for any avenues. But the reality is, we need good leaders within our own communities. So if you're that good leader, go forth, do tawakkul upon Allah, stay consistent, stay humble, maintain your integrity, maintain your trust, maintain your identity, and go forth. Inshallah, Allah will support you, and the Ummah will support you too, inshallah azza wa jal. 1541, and Muhammad ibn Zayd, أن ناسا قالوا جده عبد الله بن عمر رضي الله عنهما إنا ندخل على سلاطيننا فنقول لهم بخلاف ما نتكلم إذا خرجنا من عندهم. قال كنا نعد هذا نفاقا على عهد رسول الله. Muhammad ibn Zayd narrated that some people said to my grandfather, Muhammad ibn Zayd is the grandson of Abdullah ibn Umar, who was the son of Umar. Muhammad ibn Zayd narrated that some people said to my grandfather, Abdullah ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him, that we visit. They're saying that we visit our rulers and tell them things in front of them contrary to what we say when we leave them. And this is the most common thing that happens in politics. Oh, your majesty. Oh, your highness. Oh, your eminence. Look at that. The moment they leave, even before they leave the room, they are indicating, oh, look at this joker, look at this fool, look at this guy. Because they don't actually like them. It's so politics. You know, politics, it's all about, a lot of the time it's about lying, it's about deceiving, it's about showing one face and showing another face. Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu replied that in the days of the Prophet ﷺ, we counted this as an act of hypocrisy. That you go to front of your leaders and you say one thing, and then in the absence you say something else. Oh, this is of course talking about good leadership. I'm not saying that this is justified, this kind of behavior is justified, but what we're saying is this, especially so when it comes to, if there is a good leader, a genuine leader, a Muslim leader, for example, in a Muslim country, if people are backbiting and discrediting him and defaming him and trying to create hatred for him within society, is that a good thing? This is considered hypocrisy, according to this hadith. So there is, beloved brothers and sisters, there is a big issue. Shall I go into or shall I not? Shall I go into or shall I not? Shall I go into or shall I not? There's a big mas'ala of obeying the rulers. This is a big mas'ala. Yes. According to Islamic Quranic guidance and the Sunnah guidance, if the ruler is commanding you, you must obey the rulers so long as they are not telling you to disobey Allah. There is a very important qaida, لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. There is no obedience to any servant when it comes to disobeying Allah. Allah said, disobey your parents if you have to, but in a polite way when they tell you to do shirk. Okay? Even if your parents tell you, go and do shirk, go and do kufr, and that happens all the time. So many reverts tell us these stories that, my parents, they kicked me out because I became Muslim. Okay? Even if your parents tell you to disobey Allah, you say, فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. Don't obey them in this regard. وَلَكِنْ Allah says, وَصَاحِبْهُمَا فِي الدُّنْيَا مَعْرُوفًا. But accompany them in this life, your parents, in good character. So now when it comes to rulers, it doesn't matter which country. Think of all the Muslim countries you want in the world. If the ruler is telling you to do good, pay your salahs, of course we obey that. Make sure everyone gives their zakat on time, we obey that. Making sure that the rules of Allah's deen are maintained and upheld, then we support and love those leaders. When they stand with the side of the oppressed and stand against the oppressors, we love that, we respect that. We welcome them, we make dua for them, that Allah gives them steadfastness, and Allah guides them, and Allah strengthens their leadership and guides them in this life and the next. But if the ruler now comes and introduces fawahish, sins, all of the sins of the world, and we are still supposed to be okay with that? When the leader is encouraging us towards sin, if a Muslim leader is encouraging us towards sin, towards alcohol, towards fornication, and towards this, and because these are sins according to Islam, there's no hiding about that. So in a Muslim country, if someone is introducing and encouraging this, then we are not required to follow. We are not required at all to follow these rules. And criticism can be applied where it's due. Criticism can be applied where it's due. Now here is the point. Some people have exaggerated obedience to leadership to such an extent that even if they're disobeying Allah, you still have to obey them. Does that make sense to anybody? A common person, I ask you as a Muslim, according to the Quran and the Sunnah, when a person is telling you disobey Allah, and Allah is saying obey me, who comes first? Allah comes first, right? So we believe in the obedience of rulers so long as they are not leading us towards the disobedience of Allah. Does that make sense? Now, I don't want to go too much of delving into discussion. I don't want to talk about my pay grade, as they say, because this is for the senior ulama to discuss. Just issues like, for example, political normalization and etc. With entities that are genociding Muslims. There is no justification for this. If somebody is genociding Muslims, trying to wholesale kill them, take the Aqsa and make it whatever they want to make it into. And then we're also going to say, yeah, it's okay, we're normal in our relationships. Nobody can accept that. No, if you're a Muslim, you have a person on the Quran and the Sunnah, if you follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we can't accept that. So either you take Islam out of us, or you take us out, which is not possible. Inshallah, you can't take Islam out of us. Because inshallah, Islam is deep-rooted in the hearts of 1.8 billion Muslims. Yes, we have our different levels. Some are praying, some are not, most are perhaps not. But we have back and forth. But we are optimistic. There's 1.8 billion Muslims. So may Allah guide us all and give us tawfiq. And allow for us to understand things correctly, in the balanced way. In the correct way. Yes. But again, once again, to take the shahid of the hadith, the message of the hadith is that if there are good leadership, you must respect them. You must honor them. You must dignify them. You must not talk evil of them. You must honor them just like you'd honor your parents. Yes. If there is a good leader, you must honor them and respect them just like you'd honor your own parents. Because they are also your guardian, but on a national scale. So it's to be understood in that, inshallah, in that nuanced way, bi'idhnillah. The next chapter is condemnation and prohibition of falsehood. Babu tahrimil kadhib, the chapter which forbids us to lie and the sins of lying. Now, I will save this for next lesson because this is quite a long chapter, and there is a long hadith which gives you a very detailed description of some of the punishments of Jahannam. And brothers and sisters, let me tell you something. We need to know the descriptions that are available to us in the Quran and Sunnah of the Akhirah. Because a lot of the times we find ourselves unable to focus, unable to have within us the taqwa of Allah, the fear of Allah. We feel like, what's the point? We feel distant. We don't see the good enough reason that there is a Jannah and there is Jahannam, for which we're supposed to abstain from haram and go towards halal and do the wajib and the fard and the sunnah. So for you to know these descriptions and these messages and these ahadith and the Quranic ayat, about this is a big way, it's a huge way, it's one of the best ways, it's the best way to remind yourself of the akhirah so that you can be attached to it. You're supposed to remember the akhirah, supposed to remember death and the afterlife so that you can be prepared for it. Look at subhanallah, our Shaykh Abu Ahmad Hafidhur Rahman. Wallahi, I can't believe it because he was the imam when I came in. So that's a big thing for me because I'm standing in his mihrab. So, and when I first saw him, he was fully strong. He was obviously elderly, Shaykh, uncle. I used to call him uncle. He was strong. And they were describing him yesterday in the memorial. He was handsome. He used to look after himself, proper. I'm telling you, every time even I don't do as much as he used to. I can't because he used to be very neat. His beard is all the time lined up, a longer, much more beautiful beard than mine. He used to have a nice hat, always matching, very smart, very organized, smelling good. Subhanallah. And he was a person of taqwa, of fear of Allah. He was a person of, Quran and Sunnah. He used to encourage us to follow the Quran and Sunnah authentically. And subhanAllah, look, he's now gone. Just like that, just that quick. And these are reminders for us of our own akhirah. And that's why we're supposed to attend the janazah and follow the janazah and go to visit the mayyiteen in the graveyards from the sunnah as well. But inshallah, we'll leave that chapter for next time, bi'idhnillah. Hopefully you will attend. Some, mashallah, I can see some people have attended today. Hopefully you can attend also next week. If not, then at least watch online. But attendance in person is always better. Barakallahu feekum. Are there any questions? Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. What you mentioned in terms of what is happening around the world globally, so therefore sort of affiliation with sort of political parties, where your leader of a political party is openly supporting genocide. So being part of those sort of groups, what would your view be on it? That local council, for example.
Yeah.
So I understand what you probably understand what I'm saying.
Wallahi,
so
this is
political parties that their leaders are openly supporting genocide.
No, the discussion is twofold because obviously I'm quite involved in the community and I've heard both sides of the argument. So on the one side, people are saying they're supporting genocide, leave them. Others are saying only change can happen from inside. If you don't stay inside, then you can't change them. You can apply the pressure. So both have their logic. But then even before all of that, there is another discussion which we will have among certain Islamic and religious circles, which is, are you even allowed to be involved in this kind of political systems? And we can't discard that there is also that element and that layer of the mas'ala in and of itself. So suppose now you have followed the opinion which says that you are allowed to be democratically involved. Suppose you followed the opinion. Then we come to the next discussion, which is, which side do you go towards? This side or that, the right or the left? Which side do you go towards? So unfortunately what we've seen is that when it comes to the Palestinian cause, that the governments of the West are unanimously agreeing because this is their child. This is their, like the man said in America, that had there not been such a state, we would have created one to preserve our interests because they are directly an entity and a wing and an arm for them in the Middle East. So the sad situation is that whether you're on the right or the left, it seems as though when it comes to this, there is a unanimous agreement that there must be a support. But what we as Muslims, as population of say 7% in the UK and other percentages in America and Australia and other countries, what we are doing, mashallah, and alhamdulillah, I've got to say, over the past 2 months, despite all of the difficulties that we've been experiencing, one thing that we can say is, alhamdulillah, we've seen that there is a lot of unity. There is just, despite our differences, when it comes to madhab and all of the different discussions that people always are fighting over, masjid and madhab and manhaj, even sometimes manhaj, people are willing to overlook that for the sake of the bigger issue, which is our existential threat, our Aqsa, our Palestine, the people of the Palestinian cause. So I think wallahi it's a discussion that politicians and those who are expert in politics and political analysts need to have. I don't think I am qualified to answer that question. What's the right strategy? To leave, to apply pressure, or to stay to apply pressure? Because I've heard arguments on both sides. I haven't been able to reach a conclusive, but I believe when there were resignations that were happening, one after the other, many, in many cities, this applied a lot of pressure, and it was coming on the news that X amount of people have resigned, and so therefore Mr. Starmer is under pressure.
You haven't really seen that with the local politicians into armies.
So, subhanAllah, like we all need to reflect on ourselves. We all need to reflect on ourselves. If this is, though, you don't want to go, I don't want to discuss this, but the reality is you have to. You need to reflect upon yourself. How much more are you supposed to stay silent? I mean, what do you say to us when you go into politics? What do you tell the Muslims when you go into politics? And so, support me. Why? Because I'm going to
Bring change.
I'm going to bring change. I'm going to support the Muslims. I'm going to represent you. And what do you do when you go there? You don't do that. So what have you done to us? You've lied to us. There is no bigger issue to us. I mean, we all care about our local housing issues. We care about our energy prices. We care about all of these things that concern us locally, our bins being collected. This is important to us. Society around us is important. But we can't deny that we are Muslims. And Islam is in our hearts. And so when the heart of the Ummah, when the central part of the Ummah, when Aqsa, which is from our Muqaddasat, is from the central part, it's the heart of the Ummah. Aqsa, Haram, Makkah, Medina, Aqsa, these are the three sacred mosques. So this is in our heart. You can't take that out of our heart. So now, if your entire constituents, your whole borough, your people that are behind you, that have elected you, that have taken you into power, are saying, represent us, bring this to the council, and bring this change, and bring this, that, then you must do that to the best of your ability. And if you're not doing that, then our leaders and ourselves as imams, I need to reflect upon myself, that am I doing enough to serve my community? It's not just pointing fingers. We all have to point fingers at ourselves. The councillors need to reflect upon themselves and say, am I doing enough to stand in front of Allah and say, Allah, I did everything within my power to help the Palestinian people and to help my people and to stand for our cause and to represent my constituents. Have you done everything? We know you can't change everything. We know that. Everyone's limited in their own capacities. But have I done? So all of us need to reflect in that way. I'm a general person. I'm not a politician. Okay, I'm talking about whoever's feeling like that. Have I done everything within my capacity, from the salat and from the dua and from the sujood and from the charity, all the other things that we've spoken about, extensively in our lessons, Islamic studies class and our khutbahs. Have I done all of those things? If you're a person, if you're an imam, if you're a religious scholar, if you're an academic, if you're a writer, all of us have to do everything within our capacity, because this is a situation of desperation. So that's my advice. Whoever is in any position, whether you're a writer, whether you're an academic, whether you're an influencer, whether you're a social media user, all of us have certain capabilities and certain capacities. We need to use all of it within our legal and shari'i means. I have to, make that very clear, within our legal and shari'i, because we cannot promote illegal activities, because then that is a bigger problem. Within our legal, as in UK law, and shari'i, Islamic law systems, we have to do everything within our capacity, and we have to try everything within our abilities to stand on the right side of history and stand in solidarity with the Palestinians, inshallah. And for the entire Ummah, wherever they may be. It's not just Palestine. We know when Palestine issue is, inshallah, will be resolved, we need to also at the same time focus on the Uyghur situation. The Muslims of Sudan, how many of us know about Sudan? None of us probably even know about what's happening in Sudan. Civil war, so many Muslims, civil war situation is very dangerous out there. And Kashmir and India, the pogroms haven't stopped. They haven't stopped. If in fact they're probably going to get worse. So we as an Ummah have to feel the pain of the whole Ummah, inshallah. And to be honest, I mean, if there is one example that we can take, the best people that we can take as examples in how they are standing firmly for their own justice and also for the justice of other Ghazzans and the Palestinians. Subhanallah, even in their most difficult times, even though they are trapped in a open air concentration camp, and yet we see them showing solidarity with the people of the Uyghurs of China and the different people when they are even though they themselves are oppressed, but they also extend them. They try their best to also show that support. SubhanAllah, so much to take. Inshallah, in our winter conference this year, which is going to be the 30th Saturday after, not this Saturday, after 2 Saturdays, inshallah, 30th, our whole theme is going to be the children of Palestine. And we are going to basically angle the entire conference, because it is around, Sayyidina Isa. And Sayyidina Isa was from Bethlehem, Baytul Laham in Jerusalem. So he's from the children of Palestine. So inshallah, the whole theme will be about Palestine. We're going to bring our children out. We're also going to be having a professor, a Palestinian professor coming in. Inshallah, he's confirmed. He will be attending. Is Professor Kamal Hawash. He's the head of the Palestinian Solidarity Campaign. He will be coming sharing with us his experience and bringing that insight and experience into it, as well as we'll be having local speakers, because honestly we have to do more, and we have to do everything we can. Every day we should reflect, have I done everything I can today? And if everyone does everything they can, inshallah Allah will accept that, and Allah will bring change. Allah will bring change. We can't bring change. Allah will bring change. But Allah has to see the willingness and sacrifice from our part within, again, our legal and shari'i means. Hope that answers your question.
I was just going to touch upon
Yes.
comment on it. Basically, the hadith which is about hypocrisy.
Yeah.
And one of the things, during this, what's happening in Gaza and Palestine,
Yeah.
is we find that, the normalization treaties. And so, it feels like some of the countries, they just abandoned.
No.
And they were going towards all of the normalization
Yeah.
treaties. So like here, we try to, the dates, we try to not to buy things. But if you go to some of the Arab states, they're selling.
I know. It's
And
actually,
this is the hypocrisy.
it's very painful.
This is
It
what
hurts a
hurts
lot.
me. It hurts me because I've seen them,
Yeah.
some of them, and I can't believe it. I said, we are in the UK, go to Tesco's,
Yeah.
we are very mindful of
Yeah,
where
yeah.
things are. They're openly selling.
It goes worse than that. I have seen that they're giving special offers from the companies that we're boycotting,
Yes.
and encouraging people to go there to basically say we don't care,
We don't care.
and we are going to backstab them and
Backstab.
betray them
So-
openly, and there's nothing you can do
So
about it.
this is what my point is, the hypocrisy of the political level to the sultans and the amirs, and then we've got the hypocrisy of what your brother was saying about sometimes the local leaders, and whatever the reasons are, I think obviously if everyone, I want to go inside and change whatever, there is another step they can do, which is be independent.
Yeah.
If you want to show that I'm not following you, show something rather than I can do the way, but that's my opinion.
No, that's right. You're right, 100%. Look,
Everyone has their own ways, but this is why
we need to explore all options, because alhamdulillah there is a significant number of Muslims, and we are not first and second, we are third, fourth generation. There are very intelligent, very well off Muslims out there, and if we organize ourselves, then we can indeed gather and garner and organize a lot of power. And one of the things that's important to bring political change is organizing and building power to bring that change, because that's the only people that are taken seriously. So if say for example we can have individual candidates, like for example I don't supposed to be impartial, but brother Lutf Rahman, he done a good job, he done an amazing job. It's actually quite phenomenal to be to have to go through that and to be accused of all of that and then come clean and then come back again. It's actually quite incredible. So
It was the Muslims who wanted to bring him down, wasn't it?
Allahu Alam, subhanAllah.
That's my very point, brother. Because
Yeah.
I was saying, one of the hypocrisies we have, the enemy is within.
Within.
It's not the outside.
So-
Because if you look at the Palestine, the whole thing, who is the enemy? If you look at it, who's no one?
Well, I think a lot of the times there are a lot of people, there are a lot of munafiqs. You're right, but look again. I think the best example for us to follow in this whole situation are the people of Palestine. What the people of Palestine have done is they have said, Allah is enough for us.
Hasbunallah wa ni'mal
Allah, we don't need anybody. There was a time they said some of these countries threatened that they might deploy even Arab soldiers into Gaza. They said, for the Palestinian cause, we will fight against the Arabs even. Because they said, Allah is enough. We don't need anybody. So this has to be our approach, that we try our best. We will work towards unity. We will do everything to build power and to organize ourselves. But ultimately, I'm not counting on this politician and on that leader and on that Amir and on that Sultan and on that king, because he's nothing. And if they have betrayed the Palestinian cause, they are only betraying themselves. It's only a matter of days. Arabs have a very famous saying, says, لَقَدْ أُكِلْتُ يَوْمَ أُكِلَ الثَّوْرُ الْأَبْيَضُ. The story of the three cows, or the three buffaloes, and the lion wanted to eat all of them. So he said to the first one, listen, your color is a bit different, they don't like you anyway. Divide and conquer. So this is what's happening right now. The big boys, the big shayateen are basically telling everyone, oh, you're okay, I'm okay with you. Look at, we've got an army base here, got a long-standing relationship, you're going to be fine. But when push comes to shove, it's all the same. You're still a Muslim, you're still a person of color, and you're seen as that. You know, you can never please the colonizers. And colonizers have always used the people of the color as a way of penetrate. But look at the history of India. Look at the history of the different countries. They had translators that would be look at Qarun. In the story of Fir'aun, Qarun was the hypocrite. Qarun was the seller. Qarun was from Banu Israel. كان من قوم موسى, Allah is saying. He was from the people of Musa. And he betrayed them, and he used to get paid well. He was the richest. So you can see the similarities, you know. They used to get proper taken care of, money. So Qarun used to be paid well. But ultimately what happened? Allah destroyed him. And he was humiliated, and he was destroyed in this dunya and also in the akhirah. So our example, wallahi, after Allah and His Rasul, are the Sahaba and the Tabi'een and the Ulama and the Salaf al-Salihin and the Mujtahideen. And in our time, one of the best examples of Iman and Taqwa and fearfulness of Allah is and consciousness of Allah is we are seeing right now in front of our eyes. And people are turning to Islam because of their Iman. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Wallah, it's unbelievable. And what hurts me more than everything you guys have described is when people accuse them, these Palestinians, these Gazans, of not having correct Iman. That, my friend, is a red line. Watch yourself. Watch yourself. If you're going to accuse these people who have lost their entire bloodline and saying, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel, I am pleased with Allah, this is Allah's qadr, this is Allah's decree, I am pleased, Habibi, oh young man, oh young woman, whoever you are, even if you had a little slit on your skin, you'd be like, oh, why did this happen to me? Oh, you start crying like a little baby, and you want to compare your Iman to their Iman. Watch yourself. Watch yourself. You don't want to, you know, these people have a level of taqwa and Iman and consciousness and friendship with Allah that we can't even imagine. So they deserve respect, and they deserve to be emulated and copied and taken as examples. So let's follow that, which is reliance upon Allah. Let's not let our bickering divide us. Okay? Like them, tawakkalna ala Allah, focus on Allah, and do whatever we can. And as for the munafiqeen, what was the Prophet's policy with the munafiqeen? He used to ignore them. He used to ignore them. If he wanted, he knew who they were. He could have finished them all if he wanted. But he ignored them because he said, I don't want people to say that Muhammad is killing his own companions. So even though it's annoying and it hurts us and it's really like, we don't understand why these people are selling out. Why are they backstabbing? We have to hold it in. We have to pretend, we have to turn a blind eye to it sometimes. For the sake of the unity, for the sake of the greater good. To take example, you think the people of Gaza don't know that they're being lied about, they're being backchatted about. People are saying they don't have proper Iman and whatnot. Do you see them ever addressing, saying, oh, leader of that country, look at you, why don't you come and help us? Have you ever seen that? Even once, have you seen once that they're begging one of these leaders? Not even once. Because their tawakkul and their relationship with Allah. And we need to copy that. Because this is their cause, and we are just trying to do whatever we can. This is their cause, and we are just supporting. We are following. We are following them in their cause. And may Allah make their cause of the Palestinian cause, of freedom Palestine, of justice of Palestine, may Allah make it successful. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. And allow for us, Ya Rabbi, in our lifetime to see a free Palestine. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. May Allah allow for us to pray in Masjid al-Aqsa when it's free. Ameen Rabbil Alameen. Allah forgive our sins and alleviate our pains. May Allah give shifa to those who are unwell. May Allah give them shifa. May Allah give shifa to the people of Palestine, of Gaza. May Allah protect them from the diseases that are spreading. May Allah protect them from the rain and the storms. May Allah protect them from the bombs and the shells. May Allah protect them from every direction. Oh Allah, protect them. Oh Allah, protect them. Oh Allah, protect them. Oh Allah, give shifa to them. Oh Allah, raise their ranks. Oh Allah, give them sabr. Oh Allah, increase them in their sabr. Oh Allah, protect them from every direction. Ya Allah, protect them from every direction. Ya Allah, Ya Allah, protect them from every direction. Ya Allah. Oh Allah, give them patience. Oh Allah, give them perseverance. Oh Allah, increase them in their patience, their perseverance. Ya Allah. Oh Allah, protect them and give shifa to their anwal. Ya Allah, accept their shuhada. Oh Allah, protect the children of Palestine, of Gaza, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, unite this ummah. Oh Allah, unite this ummah. Oh Allah, cleanse our hearts. Oh Allah, cleanse our hearts and our minds and unite us as a body, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, unite the whole of humanity, Ya Allah, against this injustice. Ya Allah, unite the whole of humanity against this injustice, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah, allow for us to see in our lifetimes a free and a just and a fair Palestine, Ya Rabbil Alameen, and allow for us to pray in the Masjid al-Aqsa, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Ameen. برحمتك يا ارحم الراحمين. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم اشهد ان لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله وبركاته.